China's going to catch eventually, 5 or 6 years they're working to catch. Russia and with China is denuclearization, big massive black fields of solar that all comes out of China, or plastic, all comes out of China. But we have a very strong relationship, Howard, I would say, economically with China now, getting much better. You know, China intelligently went and they sort of took a monopoly of the world's magnets. But we have a much more powerful thing, that's tariffs. If we want to put 100%, 200% tariffs on, we wouldn't do any business with China. I spoke to President Xi fairly recently, and at some point, probably during this year or shortly thereafter, we'll go to China. They have some cards. We have incredible cards, but I don't want to play those cards. If I played those cards, that would destroy China. I'm not going to play those cards. We are the most powerful nuclear country in the world by far. Russia's second, China's third. China's going to catch eventually, 5 or 6 years they're working to catch. One of the things we're trying to do with Russia and with China is denuclearization. And it's very important. One of the things I discussed with President Putin the other day, it wasn't just that, it was also other things. And I think the denuclearization is it's a big aim, but Russia's willing to do it, and I think China's going to be willing to do it too. We can't let nuclear weapons proliferate. We have to stop nuclear weapons. The power is too great. The most valuable farming land in the world, probably the most vibrant in the world, and they put solar plants all over the place. It's ridiculous. Big, massive black fields of solar that all comes out of China, or plastic, all comes out of China. But we have the greatest amount of energy in the world, and we're dealing with South Korea. As you know, in Alaska, we're taking a lot of money in from China because of the tariffs and the different things. And it's a very important relationship. We're going to get along good with China. I hear so many stories about we're not going to allow their students. We're going to allow their students to come in. We're going to allow, it's very important, 600,000 students. It's very important. But we're going to get along with China. But it's a different relationship that we have now with China. It's a much better relationship economically than it was before. With Biden, boy, what he allowed they just took him to the cleaners. You know the expression? They took him to the cleaners. I'm sure they have an equal expression in South Korea, but they took that guy out for a ride like nobody's ever been ridden before. Terrible. But we have a very strong relationship, Howard, I would say, economically with China now, getting much better. They have to give us magnets. If they don't give us magnets, then we have to charge them 200% tariff or something, you know. But we're not going to have a problem, I don't think, with that. I think that's perhaps behind us. You know, China intelligently went and they sort of took a monopoly of the world's magnets. And nobody needed magnets until they convinced everybody 20 years ago, let's all do magnets. There were many other ways that the world could have gone. But so it'll take us probably a year to have them. We're heavy into the world of magnets now, only from a national security standpoint. But we have a powerful thing. It's airplane parts. They have many Boeing jets. You know, they had 200 jets that didn't fly. And I've sent them all, based on his word, I sent them all of the parts so their planes can fly. I could have held them back. I didn't do that because of the relationship I have. And their planes are now flying. You know, we had 200 of their planes were unable to fly because we were not giving them Boeing parts purposely, because they weren't giving us magnets. Therefore, we weren't giving them. But we have a much more powerful thing, that's tariffs. If we want to put 100%, 200% tariffs on, we wouldn't do any business with China. And, you know, it would be okay, too, if we had to. But the magnet situation, we have tremendous power over them, and they have some power over us with magnets. We're going to have a lot of magnets in a pretty short period of time. In fact, we'll have so many we won't know what to do with them. But you know the story. It's a very interesting history with magnets. And it really is because presidents, not being business people, they allowed that to happen. And they shouldn't have. But we have much more. I mean, look, in terms of playing the cards, we have we have much bigger and better cards than they do. But with that being said, I think we have a great relationship. I spoke to President Xi fairly recently, and at some point, probably during this year or shortly thereafter, we'll go to China. And I think we're going to see a magnificent sight. It's a great country.
Mr. President, on the National
both you
Guard.
and President Lee actually are planning to go to China. You mentioned either this year or next year. Could you please share more details about your plans going to China and also President Lee? I think
Well, maybe we'll go together. Do you want to go together? We can share a plane. We'll save energy. We'll save a little, the ozone layer. Remember President Obama used to talk about the ozone layer, and then he'd fly to Hawaii to play around the golf in a 747.
Mr. President, on
Would
the
you
national.
accept the invitation, Mr. Lee?
중국에서 만약
It was sort of meant jokingly, but if you want, you can.
대통령하고 같이 가면 좋겠습니다.
I would like to go together with President
Do I accept? He doesn't accept. If you want to go, I'm going to get special permission. I'm sure you can go. But we're going to have a great relationship with China. I mean, it's happening. You see it. It's happening.
중국과 좋은 관계를 맺을 것입니다. 이미 그
They have some cards. We have incredible cards, but I don't want to play those cards. If I played those cards, that would destroy China. I'm not going to play those cards.
Subscribe to One India and never miss an update. Download the One India app now.